All right, on page 67, who can describe to me what it means for two lines to be parallel? Okay, great. So two lines. Well, I guess we should say two or more lines.
What's the difference between spelling out two and just is there like
no, you can write the number two. Okay, we want two lines that are in the same plane and they never meet.
Almost the same in the back, almost the same in the front. This plane.
Ha ha. Okay. Now, when we have two lines that are parallel, we can't assume that they're parallel. There will be a marking to show us that they're parallel. These little arrows will say, hey, these are parallel. If there are lots of lines in a diagram and we have like 2 or 3 or 4 different sets of parallel lines, then we do the same kind of thing that we do with our like congruent little tick marks. Like maybe one set will have one arrow, but maybe like another set has double arrows. You see what I'm saying there? Okay, so the arrows are going to indicate that they're parallel. If this line is named L and this line is named M, then we would write L is parallel to M. That would be our shorthand. How are we going to describe, or does anybody know what skew lines are?
the door is like slightly open, so maybe it's slightly down.
Okay, so since it's plural, there's like 2. Okay, so no, they do not meet, but they're not parallel. What would that look like? So these are lines, so it's not segments, like lines, so they are going to go on forever. I want you to think of this room. I want you to think of a line being like this part of my ceiling, right? Where the lights are.
Don't ever touch it, it's vertical.
Oh, this corner up here that is vertical. That's never going to touch that guy, right? But they're not in the same plane. Okay, so they're not parallel, but they're still not going to intersect. So skew lines two or more lines not in the same plane and they still don't intersect.
It's on the email, so I remember. But yes, we feel like that
Okay, so if I'm talking about this picture right here. What is a line that would be skew to EF? Disagree? AH. So I made a rectangle. And then I copied the rectangle. And then I connected, right?
I used to do this in like fourth grade. Oh, you got the line things.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's like, cause it knows. What?
That's it.
I'm not really sure what that's for, but we're just gonna pass. Okay. All right, now you have heard the word transversal. Last year.
It's like transported.
Good try.
Then just.
You know what? I'm glad we're
Oh,
chatting.
it's like traversal.
From two different planes. That was a good one.
Okay. So transversal, a line that intersects, go
Plane. Two planes.
two,
Squares. Well, you only said two.
two or more lines. But they have to be at different points.
So like they're not equal. So,
Yeah, yeah. So in this picture, what is the line that is intersecting two or more lines at different points? Okay, line N is our transversal. Line N is intersecting two or more lines, but at separate spots. They're not like all intersecting. Okay. Now, when you were in algebra, you talked about corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior, and consecutive interior. Okay, so we're gonna take a timeout and we're gonna see if you actually do remember it. Pull out your computers.
I don't remember what was what, but I remember learning.
Do you have a charger?
No.
Why don't you have a charger?
Because I thought my computer was like, they use it, but now it's not.
Well, maybe you have a kind classmate who could let you borrow a charger and you could sit at the teal table and charge it.
Alternate exterior.
My computer is also really low, and I also don't. Someone's. Because I don't have a charger.
Clark,
And my charger in my house doesn't really like work. It says like it says like unreliable.
Okay. In Google Classroom, I have put in an activity under today's date that I want you to see how many you can get right. And we will come back to this, okay? I want you to turn back to your student journal and I want you to go to page 68, okay? Okay, so now we're turned to page 68. Okay, so before we talk about all these vocabulary words, there is exactly one line through point P parallel to line L. So if you have a line and you have a point, there is only one line we can draw through that point that's going to be parallel. Same thing at the top of page, at the top of the next page, however perpendicular. If we have one line and we have one point, there is only one line we can draw through P that is perpendicular. It's very unique. Okay. Now let's talk about the vocabulary we just had. Okay. Corresponding angles. What's a good way to pick out that we have a corresponding angle? What's true about them?
On the same side.
They're on the same side of the transversal and they're in the same, they have like the same positions. Like notice how in the four angles, they're in the same place for each of them. So corresponding, they're like in the same place. Okay. Alternate interior. I feel like the name says it all, right? We're inside the two lines, hence the name interior, but we are on alternate sides of the transversal. Okay. Alternate exterior angles. Now we're outside the two lines, still on opposite sides of the transversal. Okay. And then I know in your activity, they called these same side. You're going to see them called same side interior, or you're going to see them called consecutive interior. Okay. And consecutive interior angles, they are inside the two lines, but they're on the same side of the transversal. Okay. So we basically need to practice figuring out what kind of angle relationships we have. Okay. You kind of started remembering from algebra 1 what some of these were. Okay. I will have you eventually finish that matching activity that we were doing, but go ahead and turn to page 1 in the new notes that I gave you. And we should have something that looks like this. Okay. All right. So first of all, we're not always going to have just 3 lines. We have 4 lines in this picture. Okay. So I want you to look at here. Let's first talk about like which one the transversal is. If I'm talking about angle 1 and angle 12, I don't care about what kind of relationship they are yet, but what transversal? Okay, and how do we know that that is the transversal? Okay. Line L creates both of those angles. Line L is going through the 2 different lines. Now let's talk about what kind of relationship that is. So 1 and 12. Okay, so I'm going to go to alternate exterior angles and I'm going to write angle 1 and angle 12. Okay, there we go. We have a pair. All right, let's go to the next one, 3 and 6. 3 and 6. If we look at those 2 angles, which one is our transversal? Line J. Line J is going through 2 lines to create those 2 angles. Okay, Braden, what kind of angles are angle 3 and angle 6? They would be alternate interior because they are on the inside of these 2 lines, right? Okay. All right, 7 and 15. Okay, so I've highlighted them. If it's easier for you to look at my picture, you look at your picture. We have 3 lines, only one of them is the transversal. Which one? Line M is going through J and K. Line M is touching both of those angles. Okay. Now, 7 is an exterior angle, 15 is an interior angle. That should be alarming to you. Are they in the same spot? Yeah, so we call that corresponding. All right, now we have angle 12 and angle 14. If we look at those 2 angles, which line is cutting through and touching both of them? Line K. Notice if K is our transversal, notice how 12 and 14 are both on the inside, but are they on the same or opposite sides of the transversal? Same, so we call these consecutive interior angles. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna work together to find a couple more pairs of corresponding angles. Okay, so then I am gonna pick an angle. Okay, I'm gonna pick angle 3. What is a corresponding angle to angle 3? Yeah, there's a couple different answers because we have lots of lines, but
11.
yeah, 11. Is he right? Yeah. What else could he have said? Yes, he could have said 7. Okay. All right, I'm gonna pick another one. I'm gonna pick angle 13. Okay, and I'm gonna ask Alex to give me a corresponding angle to angle 13. Angle 9, very good. Okay. All right, we're gonna move on to alternate interior. I'm gonna pick angle 8. Okay. Clark, can you give me the alternate interior angle to angle 8? He thinks, is he right? He is, yeah, very nice. Okay. Okay, how about angle 11? Presley, what is the alternate interior angle to angle 11? You know what I was ready for? I was ready for the answer of 2. But the answer of 14 is also correct. Okay. All right, let's go to alternate exterior angles. Angle 10. Sam, what's an alternate exterior angle to angle 10?
One.
So you're looking up here. Alternate means on what side of the transversal?
Oh, 3.
3. Good. Okay.
I put 2.
That would also be a correct answer. Okay. Now let's see. I'm going to pick angle 5. Nora, what would the alternate exterior angle to angle 5 be?
16.
Good. Okay. All right, let's move to consecutive interior. Brayden, if I pick angle 8, what's the consecutive interior angle?
16.
Interior.
15.
It would be 15. We got to stay inside. Okay. And last but not least, my dearest Harvey. Angle 6, what would its consecutive interior angle be? Angle 13 would work. What's another right answer? Angle 4. Yeah, Yeah, no, it's cool.
Oh, this is too loud for you guys. out here right now.
Oh, no, we're great.
Okay, just
Yeah.
make sure.
No, you're great.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Everyone say, hi, Alexa.
Hi,
Hi, Alexa.
I'm recording, so if she listens to this, right?
Alexa, what's number